The movie begins with Bear and his friend Ian finishing up a class they teach. Bear rehearses a confession of love for their friend Nikki, but it sounds terrible. He thinks about her all the time, but he is terrified of losing her. Ian tells Bear the speech is too sappy and embarrassing. Ian says Nikki hates that kind of thing, and tells Bear to be playful instead. Ian suggests Bear should tease her and bring up her old nickname, Freaky Nikki, but Ian warns Bear not to ask her out at trivia night, their only weekly gathering. He tells Bear to wait for the right time, because he has all the time in the world. Bear agrees to wait and do it right, but Bear goes home to a terrible surprise. His beloved cat, Sandy, has passed away. Heartbroken, Bear wanders into a crystal shop to distract himself. He looks for a necklace to replace one he lost down the drain. The shopkeeper shows him different crystals, each with a unique energy. Bear chooses a bright citrine, known as sunshine in a rock, but the shopkeeper shows him a special hidden collection of wish rocks. Bear asks why people complain about them. The shopkeeper warns that the rocks grant wishes, but they often ruin lives. Bear ignores the warning and buys one anyway. At trivia night, Bear is quiet and distant from his friends. Sarah accidentally reveals her dad keeps a weapon in the break room safe at work. The group raises their glasses to toast, but Bear reveals his cat Sandy died, ruining the mood. The friends invite him to another bar, but Bear just wants to go home. Nikki decides to take Bear home herself. In the car, Bear admits his cat's death has not hit him yet. Nikki tells Bear she is quitting her job because she is unhappy. She says she wants to write a love story and needs a big life change. They share a tender moment, and Bear hints he has a gift for her. Nikki asks if Bear has feelings for Sarah, but he says he only likes her as a friend. As they say goodbye, Bear tries to tease her by calling her Freaky Nikki. Nikki hates the nickname and gets upset. She asks him directly if he likes her, but Bear panics. He tells her they are just good friends, and she walks away. Alone in his car, Bear holds the wish rock he bought. He whispers a desperate wish for Nikki to be free and to love him more than anyone. Suddenly, a strange energy shifts the air around him. The next night, Bear pulls up to Nikki's house to check on her, but Nikki suddenly invites him inside, acting incredibly strange. She seems completely confused about her own words and actions. She begs Bear to sleep in her bed with her. Out of nowhere, Nikki kisses him, then instantly breaks down in tears. Bear pulls away, completely freaked out by her sudden mood swings. Nikki begs him not to leave her alone, claiming her dad is dying. Bear takes her back to his place to calm her down. Nikki looks around his new house, acting overly familiar and clingy. She begs him to lay with her again to help her sleep. Bear agrees, but he is deeply unsettled by her behavior. In the morning, Nikki kisses him again, causing Bear to jump back in shock. Nikki apologizes, claiming it was just a panic attack. She cries in his arms, saying she is completely lost. Later, she asks him to lay with her again, acting like a completely different person. Bear realizes something is seriously wrong with her. He leaves her at his house and goes to work to find Ian. Ian immediately teases Bear for sleeping with Nikki. Bear explains that Nikki is having a mental breakdown and snapping between personalities. Ian reveals that Nikki's dad has cancer, which might explain her stress. But Bear says she was kissing him and then crying, which is terrifying him. Ian suggests she might be on drugs again. When Nikki arrives at work, she acts completely normal around their friends. Bear goes to talk to her privately in the bathroom. Nikki admits she took MDMA the night before and apologizes for her behavior. She clarifies that Bear did not take advantage of her, but she needs to be honest. Nikki tells Bear she knows he likes her. Bear admits he does, and she says the feeling is mutual. She says her feelings started over Christmas and grew over time. They officially confess their feelings for each other. Bear is overjoyed, believing his wish has finally come true. They spend all their time together, and Nikki seems completely devoted to him. But soon, Nikki's devotion turns into a dangerous obsession. She tracks his every move and isolates him from his friends. Sarah tries to warn Bear that Nikki is acting unhinged, but Nikki lashes out at her. Bear remembers the shopkeeper's dark warning about the wish rock. He realizes the rock granted his wish, but it is destroying Nikki's mind in the process. He tries to break up with her, but she threatens to hurt herself if he leaves. Bear knows he has to destroy the rock to free her, even if it means losing her forever. He confronts Nikki at his house, where she is waiting with a desperate look in her eyes. She begs him to love her, but Bear pulls the rock from his pocket. Nikki attacks him, trying to stop him from breaking the wish. In the struggle, Bear smashes the rock against the floor. A bright flash fills the room, and Nikki collapses. When she wakes up, the dark obsession is completely gone from her eyes. She looks at Bear with confusion, having no memory of their romance. She simply asks him why she is at his house. Bear tells her she had a bad panic attack, and he brought her there to rest. Nikki thanks him for being a good friend and calls a cab to go home. Bear watches her leave, feeling the heavy weight of his choice. He lost the girl he loved, but he saved her life, and that is enough.